audience, Justin, Laura, and Derek. Imagine a future where everything on our planet is poisoned. Everything from the dirt you walk on, the food you eat, the water you drink, and the animals and the ecosystems surrounding you. Well, it turns out we're a lot closer to this future than you might think. The thing causing it? Plastic. This is why I argue the federal government should place stricter limits on the production of plastic due to how its waste harms the oceans, wildlife, and human health, with the production of which greatly outpacing cleanup efforts. Consequently, I researched this topic using government, scientific, and professional sources. For example, this is a big problem in the US. With National Academies reporting in 2016, the US produced the most plastic of any country, weighing in at 42 million metric tons. First, I'll explain the plastic problems, pollution's scale and harms. Second, I'll list the primary causes for the problem's persistence and worsening. And third, I'll propose federal, local, and personal solutions to address the issue. The ocean's plastic pollution is extensive and quickly worsening. As supported by PLOS ONE, researchers estimate 82 to 358 trillion particles of plastic on the ocean's surface, weighing in from 1.1 to 4.9 million tons. As well as this, they list a significant increase in ocean plastic density after 2005. As previously mentioned, the US is a significant contributor to the plastic problem. Recycling efforts are not coming close to keeping up. EPA reports US generated 35.7 million tons in 2018, with only 3 million tons being recycled. That's an 8.7% recycle rate. This aligns with Geyer, Jambic, and Law's findings that by 2015, 9% of the global plastic was recycled, and 79% accumulated in landfills in the natural environment. As NOAA explains, plastic doesn't disappear. It takes hundreds of years for that to happen naturally. It breaks down into microplastics, small pieces or fibers smaller than 5 millimeters. They also go on to explain they make their way into humans and wildlife due to microplastic being mistaken as food by things such as marine life, and contaminating water and food. Congressional Research Service supports this, saying humans and wildlife are harmed as plastic accumulates in ecosystems and organisms, continuing through the food chain, as well as listing how wildlife are also harmed by plastic entanglement. Now, after seeing the scale and harm of plastic pollution, why does this problem persist? Why do we not hear more of being done to combat this problem? As mentioned before, plastic production greatly outpaces what current recycling systems in place can handle. According to Congressional Research Service, both the global and domestic plastic waste doubled in the last 2 decades, with little change for recycling infrastructure. As projected by OECD, global plastic waste could nearly triple by 2060 without stronger policies regarding plastic. Speaking of policy, current policy focuses a lot on downstream cleanup rather than targeting the source, production. National academies describe the US's recycling systems as grossly insufficient, while EPA states circular approaches are necessary, targeting the production of plastic rather than just cleaning it up after it's produced. Convenience and apathy are also major contributors to plastic waste because they keep its use normalized. CRS explains plastic products have short service life and infrequent reuse, being discarded and contributing to plastic accumulation in landfills and the environment. There's also economic incentives for using plastic that are slowing change. Plastic is cheap and versatile, and for these reasons, profitable for companies. It's also why industries prefer solutions protecting production, such as recycling, rather than policies that attack plastic directly by focusing on production and reducing our dependence on plastic. So now knowing that the main causes for plastic waste begin with production, design, and incentives, we can begin to look at solutions that address this problem effectively. The federal government should place stricter limits on and taxes on virgin plastic feedstock, unnecessary single-use and unrecyclable frequently littered plastic products, as well as placing restrictions and caps on plastic production, as supported by CRS. In addition to efforts to reduce plastic product dependence, the federal government should also require more producer responsibility. As UNEP argues, system changes dealing with reuse, recycling, and phasing products away from plastics could reduce plastic pollution by 80% in 2040. Local businesses and schools can help reduce plastic pollution by reducing the use of disposable plastic and switching to alternative materials for things such as cups and utensils, as well as implementing things like reusable bottle filling stations, increasing convenience for reusable items. Local communities can also contribute through cleanup programs, cleaning up surrounding plastic before it makes its way into the environment, breaking down, becoming more difficult to deal with. A huge way individuals can make an impact is through civic action, contacting representatives and voting for policies regarding plastic, such as making companies more responsible for the plastic they put out, as well as setting plastic production limits. They can also help by reducing demand, avoiding unnecessary single-use products, and utilizing reusable alternatives for things such as bottles and bags, and just overall being more conscious of products and plastics they use. In summary, the federal government should set stricter guidelines and conditions for plastic production and use, especially for unnecessary, non-reusable, and hard-to-recycle plastics. Action must be taken as recycling and waste systems can't keep up with current production, let alone the rate at which it's increasing. First, plastic pollution is a massive, quickly growing problem. Second, major causes of this problem consist of weak policy, convenience, cheap production, and overuse in products. And third, to resolve this issue with federal, local, and individual action through creation of policy, more reusable products, and changing the products that we choose to use. As discussed, product pollution is a rapidly growing issue. It's in fact getting harder and harder to deal with as time goes on and plastics break down, deeper ingraining themselves. This is why, to avoid that poisoned future and do the harms it poses to our health, future generations, and our surrounding environment, plastic pollution must be dealt with. Anyone can help resolve this problem. All they have to do is take action.